Hello everyone and welcome to Mobility Academy. I'm the flexibility guy, Coach Elia, and in today's video I want to show you how to do the Cossack squat, because the Cossack squat is one of the best exercises to work on your hips and legs flexibility. Alright, but talking about hips and legs flexibility, let me show you my brand new book, Split Stacking, which is the complete playbook to learn the splits and drastically improve your flexibility level. Alright, so if you want to work on your flexibility and you also want to master the splits, because as I always say, splits are flexibility. If you master the splits, you'll master your lower body flexibility. Then I strongly suggest you check out this book, all right, following the link in the description down below. All right, so with that said, let's start. Let's see how to do the Cossack squat. Alright guys, so as I said, Cossack squats are just great. If you have tight ankles, tight legs, tight hips, then I strongly suggest you work on the Cossack squats because they can help you improve your hips, legs, ankles flexibility. Now I'm going to show you how to do the Cossack squats, but if you want to work on the progressions, so for example you're not able to perform a Cossack squat yet, then I strongly suggest you check out my videos right here on my channel to achieve the Cossack squat. And once you're able to do that, follow this technique please. All right, so in a Cossack squat you want to start with your legs wide apart, right here, like that. All right, and from this position here, you want to squat down on 1 foot. All right, so you do want to squat on 1 foot, and as you go down, you want to make sure you're driving this knee out. All right, you're sticking your bum out, so your anterior pelvic tilt, and you keep your torso straight. All right, so perpendicular to the floor at all times. All right, I mean, you should think about that. Of course, your torso will come a little forward, will fold a little bit towards your front leg, but that's okay. That's okay. But in your mind, try to picture yourself staying perpendicular to the floor. All right. Now, as you go down, you want to push this knee out and the hips towards your heel, the heel of the squatting leg. All right. So from this position here, torso facing forward, perpendicular to the floor, I bend one leg and I push the knee out and I go, 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 go. Now, as I start squatting on this leg, I want to externally rotate this leg. So I want to turn out this foot right there. All right. So I want to go down and I want to go here. All right. Now, as you can see, I have my heel, this heel on floor. All right. This is what you want to do. So I want to keep facing forward with my trunk. I want to have this heel well pressed against the floor, this knee out, and I want to keep my torso as perpendicular to the floor as possible. All right. I'm in this position here. I can come back up. Now, guys, once you are, of course, the most important position of the Cossack squat is the bottom position. So once you are on bottom, you are in the max stretch possible. All right, so you want to make sure you're keeping a good technique there. And if you feel like some people feel when they go back like they're falling back, all right, they're just falling back, they're losing their balance, what should you do there? So you should use a weight. As you can see here, I have 5 kilos, 10 pounds, something like that. So from this position here, you want to go down, and with the weight, you won't fall back because the weight is pulling your body forward and it keeps you in balance and helps you get deeper into the stretch. So you want to keep the weight in front of you, and the farther you keep the weight, you hold the weight, the more it will assist your balance. All right, so if you feel like you're falling back, try to understand where you should hold the weight in order to stay in the Cossack squat. All right, so for example, I want to start here. I want to push the weight away from my body in front of my shoulders, and then I want to squat down, and the weight is helping me stay there. And as you can see, my trunk is perpendicular to the floor. If I drop the weight, my trunk wants to come a little closer to my squatting leg, to my front leg right here. All right, so if I use the weight, I can keep a really nice torso position here, perpendicular to the floor. And then once I'm here, so this knee always pushed out, this foot externally rotated, my trunk perpendicular to the floor, and I want to come back. As I come back, guys, I really want to make sure that my assistant leg, so the leg which is straight, remains straight at all times. All right, guys? Now, you got two main positions for the Cossack squat for the assistant leg. The one I showed you now, which is the like the Cossack squat, the regular Cossack squat. And if you keep your assistant leg like this, so you are externally rotating your assistant leg, you're going to stretch more your hamstrings and your glutes, okay? So your hip extensors here, the posterior part of your leg. Vice versa, there's another one, all right? There's another variation where you actually keep your foot internally rotated, which means that you keep your toe on the floor. You don't externally rotate your leg. You don't turn your feet up, your foot up. All right, you just keep your foot facing in front of you. And this is the archer squat, something a little different, but it's kind of the same. But if you do something like this, as you can see, I'm just squatting down and I'm keeping my foot on the floor like this. As you can see here, I'm stretching my adductors more, not my hip extensors here. I do have more range of motion here, because if you externally rotate, your hip will go into a deeper stretch. But if you want to work a little bit more on your adductors, and I strongly suggest you work on this variation right here, if you're working on your middle splits, on your side splits, all right, you're going to stretch more your adductors here, all right? And of course, you can just keep using the weight if you also want to work on the archer squat, so the second variation, where you stretch a little bit more your adductors. And of course, with the weight is kind of easier, all right? But I really love this variation right here with the weight. I can really stay confident in the stretch right here, and I come back up. So guys, two main variations here for the Cossack squat, but the same technique except for the foot position. So first of all, you do want to keep your heel on floor. So when you squat down, make sure you keep your heel well pressed against the floor. Second, you want to push your knee out, all right? So when you squat on your leg, make sure your knee is pushed out. Third, you want to keep your torso as much perpendicular to the floor as possible, okay? You can use a weight to help you get into the correct position. All right, guys. Now, the Cossack squat is such an amazing exercise. You can do dynamic repetitions where you basically go down and up, all right? And you can also do transitions, all right? Which means that you start on one leg and you transition to the other. Let me show you how to do this. So you start here, you go down, you can externally rotate, and then from here, keeping your your hips as close to the floor as possible and your trunk perpendicular, you basically shift your weight to the other side, and you want to keep facing in front of you with your hip, with your trunk, and you do want to apply the same technique we have seen so far, but you just transition from one leg to the other. Of course, with the weight and without the weight, it's the same. You just have to make sure you're keeping in action the three main key points for the Cossack squat. So heel on the floor, knee out, and torso perpendicular to the floor. All right, guys, so Cossack squats are just great. Work on your ankles flexibility, work on your legs, work on your hips flexibility, thanks to the Cossack squats, all right? But guys, now, if you give the Cossack squats a go and you have any further questions or doubts regarding this exercise right here, please let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be really happy to listen what you have to say, all right? If you enjoy the content, please hit that like button and help me grow this YouTube channel. It means a lot to me, guys, you know that, all right? With that said, that's all from the Flexibility Guy, Coach Elia. Have a nice stretch and see you in the next video.